patches, and the notion put forward by the Strategic Office of Planning of the City of Madrid is to connect these dots through new green spaces. So it has green infrastructure in Madrid, this ecosystemic view with social and environmental agenda. Of course, themes like the heat island effect are really present. And so the competition is launched with these different zones. And we won zone 4, which is at the intersection of the river with this patch of 1,200 hectares. I think that the interesting thing is that every piece has its own characteristics, but we work together with an agenda of species that are shared depending on the resources available and the soil. So the water resources and the soil, we have a palette of vegetation that can be used across. So those are the 5 zones. And this also comes, the belt comes also along with this idea of the Manzanares River recovery. So it has been some years in the making, where you probably know about the West 8 and Burgos Garrido project in the center of Madrid, which is the public space access to river's edge. So it has been going on for 10 years, the whole recovery of the river. So in 2004, you see the Madrid Rio, for example, this is the river. It was going in parallel with a highway. So the idea here of the West 8 team was to, and the municipality to bury the highway and to provide public space to reach out the edges of the river, still channelized. But then going down, the river gets increasingly more natural until the south, which is where we receive the river downstream. So then along with the recovery of the river is this idea of the green belt. And so in zone 1, it's an agroforest. So that I'm putting here the winners of the different competitions. So those are different zones with different people. So the first one at the foothill of the Guadarrama mountain range and the Monte Pardo is this idea of an agroforestal park. That this is mix of forestry, linear forests, and agriculture. The second one is Forestal Boulevard, connecting the existing park through Zone 2. And this is by Clement Velasquez, so those are the authors. So this idea of a promenade with crossing different neighborhoods. The third one is, it's centered into habitat recovery linked to the gypsum. So it's a really arid zone with a terribly transformed soil, and it's the recovery of a special delicate landscape through this zone 2. Then we have zone 3, that is Lava Tejada, that again is filling in on the gaps of this infrastructure through an arid landscape. So that catalog that I was mentioning varies. We'll see when I move to zone 4 what are the species. And then before getting into zone 4, zone 5 is the opportunity for connectivity through another river. So taking places of opportunity to make, at the end, is generating the image or the narrative of an existing park through the website as well, that organizes activities, is connected to the neighborhoods, and is an ongoing 10 years project. So that is the last one. Going to the zone 3 that we won in 21, it's a zone that is along the river, and on the one hand, north-south, and east-west is along the highway, the M30, the belt of highway that surrounds the city of Madrid. And it's also, that's to the west, and to the east is the recovery of a really dry stream that runs and really perturbed by landfills of construction materials. So that's the area of the zone. That's the river going north-south, the highway, and this stream that runs here, and the river. So I think that we applied for this zone because for us it was an asset. It has 3 of the 4 sewer treatment plants of the city. And of course it has also landfills of materials, of waste materials. But this idea of, we'll present here like 10 ideas that are the drivers of the project in many ways, in many scales and many timelines. The first one is this sewer treatment plant that is reconceived as a spring, as manantial, and that was the motto of the competition. New manantiales, new springs for the park. At the end, we conceived this is the dam to the north. I think there's a diagram we did to explain that the water for the city is taken from the dam, but then all the bodies of Madrid are feeding these sewer treatment plants in a way that the amount of water that is exiting the city is larger than the one that is entering the city. Because of course we have all the resources coming out. So that amount of water is regenerated partially for the feeding the forest, but also for generating new aquatic landscapes. So there's an opportunity, and I think to me that's one of the design questions that might run by you in your studios or in your life, is that the reconceptualization of the sewer treatment plants. So that's an existing sewer treatment plant that by upgrading its technology is now more compact with less nuisance, and now there's opportunity to reconceive this open space or this space as a threshold between the city of Madrid and the water park. And here is a scale comparison of this with the Alhambra of Granada at the same scale. So you can immediately start the brain boiling towards this idea of water infrastructure in open space as a garden, as a threshold to move from away from this idea of the backyard 1960 model of infrastructure into something that is different. So that's the Alhambra of Granada that you might know. The second idea is to recover agricultural land associated to the river floods. There's already quite a bit of those in place and used. So that is the tip of the iceberg of a large agricultural landscape downstream that traditionally has fed the city of Madrid. So increasing this use for neighbors is part of the agenda, recovering archaeological and architectural existing pieces associated to the water infrastructures, recovering this canal of 18th century navigable canal that was done to bring vegetables from the orchards downstream up to the markets and was never finished. So this infrastructure is still there and can be visited. The fourth idea is associated with slow mobility. So on the area we have cattle trails to move cows and sheep north-south of the peninsula, Iberian. So you can use this, and we are incorporating this slow mobility into the park. And you see here its possible use. And at the same time connecting this slow mobility cattle route that can be for pedestrians as well with the mobility of buses and subways in the city. So the idea of high speed, medium speed, and then slow mobility back and forth, and to make the open space, this metropolitan open space, accessible to citizens. Within this strategy there are a series of bridges and tunnels under the highway to connect with this large-scale metropolitan park, as well as recovering drainages, natural flows of water across. There's also the point 6 out of 10 ideas is looking for places of opportunity. There's the electrical substation in place that will be reframed and sunken, so there's an opportunity for this place to become a civic hub. Along with the civic hub, it's also like a large-scale wetland, a monumental wetland, fed by the sewer treatment plant nearby. This is this perspective of a large-scale wetland, floatable, movable wetland, along with some existing buildings and new buildings. The eighth idea is in this eastern area of the Metropolitan Park that I mentioned before. It's full of landfills, so this is a project, a sub-project within the large-scale site of soil recovery. So all this stream of all this area here has a dry stream along, so all along this space is a dry stream, and all these are landfills. And you see here that's the slope that is really tough. So the project is to set in motion a system of irrigation that you've taken from the sewer treatment plants to a pond, and then driving the water, like dripping irrigation, and a series of channels and infiltration gravel pods to retain water and to get a kick-off start for the landscape to evolve in itself. So again, it's a project of guerrilla mode with different speeds of action across. So you see this is a stream I was mentioning with a dripping infrastructure and drainage strategy. This is about agricultural fields and connectivity with the city and linear agroforestal landscape. It's on increasing floodability with monumental wetland and